A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Mariam Vijayaratna. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Sri Lankan delegation embarks on a diplomatic mission to India. Committee of Ways and Means urges the utilization of Samurdhi officers for the second phase of Aswesama. News in detail. A Sri Lankan delegation led by Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyewardena embarked on an official visit to India recently. The Sri Lankan delegation engaged in a discussion with the Speaker of the Indian Lok Sabha Om Birla. Discussions centered on the long-standing cultural ties between the two nations, emphasizing the need to maintain and strengthen these relations. The Indian speaker assured that India stands ready to support Sri Lanka during its economic challenges. Another significant meeting took place between the Sri Lankan speaker and the Indian Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. The foreign minister pledged full support to help Sri Lanka overcome its economic challenges. Both parties explored ways to enhance tourism, including expediting visa facilities and addressing the surge in onion prices in Sri Lanka. During discussion, the Sri Lankan speaker extended an invitation to Indian investors to consider opportunities in Sri Lanka. The Indian foreign minister expressed that many Indian investors are eager to invest in Sri Lanka, signaling potential collaborations. The delegation also met with the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankar. State Minister for Technology Kanaka Herath expressed commitment to implementing a consistent digital economic policy that transcends government transitions. The State Minister further outlined plans to initiate groundwork for a steadfast digital economic policy in the upcoming year as outlined in the 2024 budget. He said this speaking at a press conference at the Presidential Media Centre recently. State Minister Herath emphasized plans to organize an international investment workshop next year focusing on promoting the digital economy in Sri Lanka. Notably, over 2 billion rupees have been allocated in this year's budget for digitalization and artificial intelligence with the goal of bringing the benefits to the people by 2025. State Minister Herath credited the President's foresight for recognizing the potential of digitalization and AI in building the economy, noting their stabilizing impact on economies worldwide. The State Minister also stressed the need to increase opportunities for digitalization and AI, aiming to raise the digital economy's contribution from 3% to an ambitious 20%. State Minister Herath highlighted the importance of digitizing public services, creating an environment for efficient public service contributing to economic development. With the private sector rapidly adopting digitization, the government aims to strengthen the public service, fostering competitiveness. A recommendation has been proposed by the Committee on Ways and Means to utilize experienced Samurdhi officers for the implementation of the second phase of the Aswesama benefit scheme. The recommendation was given when the Committee on Ways and Means met in Parliament on the 13th of December. The Committee on Ways and Means, chaired by MP Patali Champika Ranawaka, discussed the prospect of engaging Samurdhi development officers for the Aswesama scheme. The chairman stressed the importance of utilizing Samurdhi development officers who have experience in social welfare activities at the village level for the second phase of Aswesama. The committee confirmed that there is no legal obstacle to this recommendation. They advised starting a survey to identify beneficiaries focusing on poverty indicators with less emphasis on education and health fields. The chairman pointed out the need to measure poverty-based electricity bills to establish a robust parameter that cannot be denied or challenged. Samurdhi officials expressed their willingness to participate in the second phase but raised concerns about sections 21 and 22 of the Welfare Benefit Act. The committee chair mentioned that the committee previously recommended amending the relevant act to the Ministry of Finance, and this recommendation would be forwarded again. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Interim Secretariat for the Truth and Reconciliation Mechanism has successfully initiated its national provincial public consultation starting from the northern province in Jaffna. The consultations were done over 3 days from December 10th to December 12th. The ISTRM engaged with civil society organizations, religious leaders, the University of Jaffna and women's rights movements. The visit aimed at gathering insights and recommendations to formulate a sustainable framework for national unity and reconciliation. The discussions included a thorough examination of community challenges and key issues hindering sustainable peace and reconciliation. Director General of ISTRM, Dr. Asanga Gunawansa, shared insights into the operations of the Independent Commission for Truth, Unity and Reconciliation to be established by an Act of Parliament. The Interim Secretariat aimed to build an inclusive policy framework for national unity and reconciliation. Numerous senior officials from the public relations and policy divisions were actively present during these consultations with key stakeholders. The Civil Society Initiative on Anti-Corruption Reform for Economic Recovery raised concerns regarding Sri Lanka's adherence to governance and anti-corruption commitments aimed the IMF recent review. The CSI core group released a statement pertaining to the matter on Monday. The group comprises of Transparency International Sri Lanka, Varied Research Sarvodaya, the National Peace Council and many others. The CSI core group emphasizes the vital role of governance and anti-corruption in Sri Lanka's economic recovery. They urge that neglecting these priorities could lead to potential second round of debt crisis in the next 5 years. The CSI core group said that the government has failed to publicize relevant information on public procurement, contracts and tax exemptions. Calling for a reconsideration of the government's approach, the CSI core group urges the government to prioritize the anti-corruption reform agenda. While recognizing some movement in governance reform, the CSI core group calls on the government to show genuine progress without being influenced by external demands. This situation underscores that delicate balance between economic recovery and anti-corruption measures. Stay tuned for further developments on this critical matter. President of CA Sri Lanka Sanjay Bandar said that at a time where the country is recovering from an economic crisis, it is crucial to think differently, innovate and take risks to prevent this predicament. The president of CA Sri Lanka said this speaking at the annual convocation of the Scholars of Accounting and Business campus held in Colombo recently.
It is said that accountants are the guardians of organizations. So remember, you are the gatekeepers of transparency and trust, and you have a vital role to play in the global economic landscape. This is a new beginning. SAP campus has provided you with the education and tools, but it is ultimately up to you to wield them and create a path of success of your own. As most of you are aware, now our country is in the process of recovering from a recession. So this is a time where our country needs people who think differently, who innovate things, who take risks, who become entrepreneurs. If you all think differently, if you all can be innovative, if you can be entrepreneurs, so first of all, you all win your own life. Thereafter, you all can help this beautiful country to fly away from this current crisis.
That's all we have for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook.